It is predicted that by the year 2050, 100% of us will be either type 2 diabetic or pre-diabetic. So here are 10 things that you can do to prevent the onset of insulin resistance. And this is an important topic to me because so many of us are insulin resistant and don't even know it. So number one, finish eating meals early. When I can, I try to eat by 5 p.m. Studies on early time-restricted eating have shown better glucose disposal, better glucose regulation, and bigger decreases in weight, which also leads to improved sleep. And that leads me to number two. Make sure you get adequate sleep. Just 1 hour of sleep deprivation leads to being insulin resistant the next day. Number three, drink adequate amounts of water. Chronic dehydration also leads to insulin resistance. I worked with a client, 67-year-old woman, petite exerciser who never drank water and had developed type 2 diabetes. When she started drinking water, her insulin resistance went away. Number four, eat more protein and lower the refined sugar and the refined carbs. Eliminate them if you can. Going grain-free, going sugar-free, eating less starch, especially if you're not an athlete, doing a lot of exercise and don't require all those extra carbohydrates, is going to improve your insulin resistance. It's going to be low insulin eating. Next thing is increase your steps. Just, they say do 10,000 steps a day. It's really 14 and 15,000 steps, and that's a lot. We should be moving more. We sit a lot, we're at our desks, computers, devices. Get out and take extra steps. This is gonna help you prevent insulin resistance. So number five is start a strength training program. If there's one thing that I wish I could go back and tell my younger self is to strength train regularly, 3-4 times a week, even 5 times a week. Whatever you could fit in. I wish I had started so much earlier. It makes such a difference metabolically. Having more skeletal muscle is important because we lose so much muscle as we age, and especially if you have a fall or you've had a surgery like I did, you can be put into something called catabolic crisis, and then you have to work extra hard to regain the muscle that you have lost. So your skeletal muscle is your biggest helper for being insulin sensitive. And then the next thing is that we should practice stress management. We're all super stressed out. And one of the ways that you can manage your stress is by stopping to take a beat, have a breathing practice and a gratitude practice, and focus on all the good things in your life, not focusing on the negative things. And if you take 10 minutes to do this, maybe light a candle, breathe, journal, whatever works for you, but having that kind of positivity practice and focusing, seeing yourself in a positive light, it activates a cascade of chemicals and a proper physiological response that's gonna calm your nervous system, and it's gonna help regulate your hormones. There's so many complicated things happening when you're in fight or flight. So even if your life is stressful, have a practice where you're just activating positivity. It really is gonna make a difference for you. Having positivity keeps you from having blood sugar spikes. I've seen it on CGM when people are wearing continuous glucose monitors and they even get a stressful phone call, they have an argument with their spouse, something's happening with their kids. These spikes happen, and that can also lead to insulin resistance. So it's a practice, right? So positivity practice, highly encourage it. Next one is teaching yourself to do some type of fasting intermittently, not something every day. If you do something every day, your body will adapt to it. So intermittent fasting is fasting occasionally, and to prevent insulin resistance, teach yourself to do a 24-hour fast. Maybe that looks like going from dinner until dinner, Or doing a 36 to 48 hour fast, also amazing for your blood sugar regulation. It's great for resting your digestive system as well, and for burning belly fat. Teach yourself to fast and work up to it. There are different types of fasts. You can do it strictly with water, of course, but you can do it with bone broth, you can do it with electrolytes, you can do it with other liquids that have nutrients in them, but it's really no food, and it's less than 200 calories for the day. That would be considered a fast. 24 hours to 48 hours, it really will change your life. And then the last thing is to do some regular zone 2 cardio. So get on a bike, maybe you like to run, I can't run anymore. Maybe it's swimming. It's some kind of low-level aerobic activity where you can still talk, but you are exerting yourself. And that is really, really good for your heart. And it's gonna prep you to do things like high-intensity interval training. And it's really good for your blood sugar as well. And it's a good stress reliever as well. So those are my top tips for reversing insulin resistance and staying healthy, because 2050 is gonna come up. I don't think any of us wanna be diabetic.